On May 24th, 2017, Bassa Studios, the developers of games such as Surgeon Simulator and I Am Bread, released a game that was so much different than the aforementioned titles. Worlds Adrift was a game that felt like it fit into its own genre. You could take down other players' ships, but you could also just explore and have fun with the mechanics that they introduced. Building your ship actually felt natural. You could build a custom frame and make the ship look insanely good, or you just slap some stuff together and set sail. The grappling hook was awesome. It allowed players to get around their ship easily without giving the player the ability to fly without a ship. There was this big blue dome that kind of encapsulated your ship, allowing you to grapple hook to the top of it to be able to get up to the top of your ship faster. Or you could just swing around really fast and it cut off your grappling hook and you'd go flying. Eventually you would need more research to get more and better parts, so you'd run around each island scanning things to get points towards the next research tier that you wanted. Each and every material in the game had its own properties. Lead was heavy, copper was light, and wood flammable. Every island had materials scattered among it, including nodes under the island where less brave players would go, adding risk. All of the islands in this video were either made by Bassa Studios or players using the Island Creator, a secondary program that they had released for free before the game came out. In 2019, Bassa Studios shut the game down, deeming it no longer commercially viable. The game was never super popular as there were other much simpler games like Rust out there. And while the servers had hundreds of people playing, it failed to contrast to the numbers that games like DayZ, Conan Exiles, Rust, or 7 Days to Die were pulling. The $20 price tag was a bit steep considering all you could really do is explore and shoot people. Base building wasn't a thing, everything was crafted eventually, and while the game was beautiful, the combat was a bit lackluster to say the least. And yet I spent a lot of money on this game. About $75 total, buying it for friends because I wanted them to experience this game. I think if Bassa Studios re-released this game today, but did a few things differently, like added settlements, base building, they would have had something better than even Sea of Thieves, which came out just a few months after. A lot of people want to know what exactly happened to make the game commercially unviable, but I think the FAQ speaks for itself. If you go into the FAQ, you'll see that making the game open source is impossible, as the source code sits on top of a proprietary server, meaning that making the game open source would expose a lot of code that the owners of the proprietary server wouldn't want to be just out there for anyone to see. If you look at the games that Bassa Studios has made in the past, you can kind of see why the marketing for the game didn't work out so well. The Perfect Date, Surgeon Simulator, and I Am Bread. All of these games are memey YouTuber bait-like games, meaning that people like this and this would play it, causing people to pick up the game for themselves. But when Worlds Adrift came out, it was virtually silent on the major content creator front. Sure, Jacksepticeye played it, but it was quite literally one video, and compared to his other videos, it didn't do nearly as good. The YouTuber bait marketing thing they were doing wasn't working, and so they were in a position that they were never in before. When I say YouTuber bait, I don't mean any disrespect to Bassa Studios or anybody who plays YouTuber bait games. It literally is what it sounds like. Games like Goat Simulator, I Am Bread, Surgeon Simulator, these kinds of games aren't necessarily bad. They're just games that YouTubers will be picking up and making videos of. Back to what I was saying before, marketing. It's not an easy thing to do, especially on a gaming platform that produces a new game ranging from indie to AAA every single day. YouTube couldn't even help. They did a lot of live streaming showing stuff that you could do within the game. Right now, Bassa Studios has 27k subs. 3 years ago, that might have been significantly less. Worse yet, the channel they made for the game itself has 10k, probably even less back then. So when Bassa Studios said the game was no longer commercially viable, between the cost of keeping the game's server up on the proprietary server and nobody actually buying it, you could quickly come to the conclusion that they weren't really lying here. If they just kept the servers up and kept it going, they would have been hemorrhaging money. The game had a lasting impact on its player base, but I wanted to get a direct response in 2020 from the community, so I went to the Worlds Adrift subreddit and made a post. Title: Making a video essay about this game. Want to hear what people have thought about the game. I'll post a link to the Reddit thread in the description, as well as show a screenshot of the post while the TTS reads each of the replies.
I still miss this game. Everything about it was so lighthearted, the atmosphere was so fun that even the bugs had my friends in fits of laughter. The best part was how modular everything was, and how no matter what happened, no matter how hard you fell, you could always get back up and build another. Please keep us posted about your essay. Nice. I've been wanting to do a video on the PvP of this game, but my PC is broken. Good luck on your video. What I can say about the game is that it brought a lot to the table in terms of gameplay. From creative, building, exploring, community and mechanics that I've never seen in an MMO before. The gameplay loop was lacking for some people, but I can't put that on the game itself, but more on bossa not adding more content. The PvP was my favorite part of the game hands down. Talking smack to other groups after a fight, win or lose, on Discord was the highlight of the time I got to play. Finding people's banks, extorting people for fuel, making trades for rare masks and clothing. God, I miss this game. I loved the concept, art style and the community. This game was amazing. The glitchy physics that made it annoying but greatly funny. The actual shipbuilding was so amazing. Once you got a ship built with your friend and then you just drift of so casually was amazing. I loved it, and like everyone else here, I want it back. The game was something else. Something that's hard to describe. We've all seen games come and go, but I can honestly say none has ever left a hole like Worlds Adrift did. Some games can be relived by exploiting its nostalgia, art style or gameplay, and usually that's enough. Ever since WA closed, many of us have searched for something to fill the hole it left, and nothing really comes close. It's hard to say why, but nothing has the same magic. That's partially the reason as to why it's so special. Nothing else has captured it, and I don't think it will. The game itself, for me, was rather simplistic. Get materials, build a ship, explore islands, and meet friends, or enemies, along the way. That was something so simple but so fulfilling. Me and my friend would enjoy nothing more than just sailing between islands, soaking in the atmosphere, listening to the music, keeping an eye on the horizon and talking about game ideas or ship concepts. Honestly, I thought it was amazing. I only got it late in its life, and at the time I didn't have a great computer, so it would be really laggy for me. But even then I loved it. I love the art style, aesthetic, sound design, and so much more. I mean, just that feeling of starting up your ship's engines and taking off as everything creaks and comes to life. Then going through the walls, that would be so intense. Also, the amount of customization was great, just complete freedom in what my ship looked like. Also, the community. I never had the chance to get a crew myself, but whenever I came across another ship and/or person, it was great. Love just having a chat and a possible adventure. So far, I have found no game that combines all these things. Sure, I have found some that are close, but nothing with everything. But this, I mean, you would have a game with the customization and aesthetic, but it would be single player. Most of them are. But then if I find a multiplayer game, the customization freedom would be so limited and such. Overall, I am very sad the game is gone, but I hope it will come back in the future, or at least another game like it that would hold its spirit.
This was the first time I ever dropped a significant amount of effort into something serious. I had made a video before going over the history of the culling, but I didn't have the same feelings about that game as I do with this one. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, give this video a like and consider subbing to the channel. I'd like to thank the Worlds Adrift subreddit for their help. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later.